Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be filming something that has been so highly requested here on my channel, and that is a makeup starter kit. I've gotten requests for both drugstore makeup starter kits as well as high-end, but I figured I would start off with drugstore just to keep it a little bit more affordable. Also, I know a lot of you guys that watch me are really into drugstore makeup, so I figured we would start here. I definitely will be putting together a high-end one, but I'm still kind of thinking about some products for that. So I'm really excited to share this video with you guys. I'm going to be talking about the best of the best drugstore makeup in my personal opinion. This video can be for you guys that are just starting your makeup collections, still trying to gather stuff for a full face of makeup, or you want to get into makeup but don't know where to start. You don't necessarily want to go to Sephora and spend hundreds or more dollars on a full face of makeup. So I want to show you guys that you can get really great high quality products at such a low end price, and these are just also a lot of my personal favorites from the drugstore that I love and of course want to recommend to you guys. I'm going to be walking you guys through my full face routine. So from brows all the way to lips, I'm going to be going in order of how I do my makeup. I definitely have more than one thing per category just because I feel like there are so many good things. I want to give you guys all of the options, whether you have oily skin or dry skin, or if you want more coverage or less coverage. There are definitely so many good products at the drugstore for that, and I want to give you guys all of your options because I know everyone's not the same and not everyone likes the same stuff. So I really hope that you guys enjoy seeing this video all about a drugstore makeup starter kit and the best of the best drugstore makeup. I really hope that you guys find this helpful. As always, if you have any questions or anything, leave me a comment down below. I would love to answer it for you. And without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. Before we get started, I know my hair looks a little bit crazy, you guys. It's just like I put it in braids last night and just a little bit frizzy. So please bear with me. I'm trying not to straighten my hair as much, so this is what we're working with today. But let's jump into the drugstore starter kit. So the first thing that I want to talk about is brows. I think brows are so important, and when I first got into makeup, I didn't think that they were, but looking back at photos, I definitely think the brow just really shapes the face. If you have on a full face of makeup and no brow, it just looks a little bit strange to me. Even if you just put like the tiniest bit of pencil or powder, it really just makes the look come together and look cohesive. So I'm going to be telling you guys some of my favorite brow products. The first one is the Wet n Wild retractable brow pencil. This is literally $2.99 or $3.99 at Target. Such a great affordable price, and I love the concept of this. So this brow pencil is going to give you a little more of a big tip, which is going to make filling in the brows a lot easier, a lot quicker, and you do have a lot of control over this pencil. It's not too creamy and pigmented, so you really can take your time and build it up. So I definitely think it's also beginner friendly in that way. But also, I'm not making this video just for those that are first getting into makeup. If you guys are really seasoned into makeup and are just looking for other drugstore makeup recommendations, definitely consider these as well because they are such good products. I love them. So this is $2.99 or $3.99 like I said. It does come in a variety of different shades. I love Wet n Wild makeup. You guys are going to be seeing a lot of Wet n Wild and Maybelline in this video because to me those are just my personal favorite drugstore brands, and when I need something, that's where I go first. I've just loved them forever. On this brow pencil, you always get a spoolie to just brush out the brows, evenly distribute the product. It is so great. So I really like that, but if you guys think that the tip might be a little bit too big for you, definitely also check out Wet n Wild micro tip pencil. It definitely resembles more like the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, so it's going to have more of a fine tip and it's going to be a little bit more precise in the brow. So this next product I've mentioned on my channel so many times now, and it is the Profusion Brow Powder Kit. You can get this at Target or on profusion.com. This really blew my mind. If you guys want to hear more in depth about the product, definitely make sure to go check out my Profusion video. But this fills in my brows so beautifully. I've tried really high-end brow powders like the Anastasia one, and I truly think that this is better. I just feel like the formula on this is so nice. It's really, I have it in my brows today. It fills in the brows without going overboard. It makes it really quick and easy. It is a very beginner-friendly product, and it also comes with the brush and the spoolie. I think it's great as someone who has played around with so many brow products, who is really picky about their brow products. I really love this Profusion brow powder, and it does come in a set with a pencil, a tweezer, and a brow gel for only $7. So next we are going to be talking about drugstore eyeshadows. There was definitely a period here in the makeup world that drugstore shadows were just not it for me. I couldn't find anyone that I loved. They were dry, they were patchy and chalky, but recently I feel like the drugstore has been really stepping up their game And one of the best drugstore shadows that I could recommend to you guys are the Wet n Wild ones. I did just talk about these a whole bunch in my full face of Wet n Wild video, but I truly love these, you guys. They are $5 a piece and you get 10 shadows in each of them. I believe that these palettes come in about 5 or 6 different color combinations, which is awesome. So depending on if you're looking for something more colorful like this one, and this one is called Not a Basic Peach, which is a little bit more fun and summery, or if you're looking for something a little bit deeper like this one, which is called Comfort Zone, that's a really pretty one. They have one that looks a lot like the Soft Glam palette, one that looks like the Modern Renaissance palette, and a few different options. So they really have a bunch of options depending on what you like. Wet n Wild has always killed it with their shadow formula. Their mattes are so pigmented and blend out beautifully. I definitely wouldn't say their shimmers are up to par with high-end shimmers yet. I feel like that is definitely something they could work on, but you can play around with them. You can add a little bit of Fix Plus and they're fine, but 10 shadows for $5 is not bad at all. And like I said, the mattes in this are incredibly beautiful and smooth. Another product that I absolutely love that is kind of borderline drugstore is the Profusion Mattes palette. Profusion has been impressing me so much lately, you guys. I really can't get over how great their quality is. This is their mattes palette, and this is again only $5. 10 shadows for $5. These ones are all matte, but they do have these 10 pan shadows in other colors. I have seen these palettes at Target before. I've raved about this on my channel so much in the past. These are one of the most smooth and buttery and pigmented matte shadow formulas that I've tried. Not only talking about it just in a drugstore sense, but I feel like these are up to quality with some of my Anastasia matte shadows. They are just so buttery and pigmented, and I find myself reaching for this almost over all of the other palettes in my collection. It makes it so easy just to throw on an eye look and go. You could just put like a little shimmer on the lid and it's amazing. Very easy to work with. So I definitely recommend checking out Profusion shadows, but only these little ones. I haven't had much luck with their bigger palettes, but their little 10 pan palettes are really great. And the last palette that I want to share with you guys is from Makeup Revolution, and that is their Emily Edit the Wants palette. I love this palette, and I think this is such a great value from the drugstore. So this retails for $20 and it comes with 24 shades, 24 beautifully amazing diverse shades. There are so many different things that you guys can do in here, whether you want more of a warm look, something a little bit more colorful or cool tone, or really deep like this end right here. This to me is like probably one of the biggest bangs for your buck you can get at the drugstore, just because how many shadows you're getting for the price, and also all the different looks that you guys will be able to do with it in the long run. Oh, and also it comes with like literally the biggest mirror ever. If you guys can see, that's like my little camera right there. Literally such a huge mirror, so you could just use this when you travel and be good to go as well. When it comes to drugstore mascara, I feel like there are so many of them that are really, really great. My personal favorite, if you guys have been watching me, you know, is the Maybelline Total Temptation mascara. This is a really great mascara, my absolute favorite one, even over high-end mascaras. But like I said earlier, everyone likes different things. Everyone's lashes are different. This one is my personal favorite, but you might like something really volumizing or really lengthening. You might like a plastic bristle, whereas this is like that natural bristly bristle. I don't know how else to describe it. So again, it's all personal preference. In this case, what works out for me might not work out for you, but I love Maybelline Total Temptation. I also love Essence Lash Princess, that is only like $4. And I also really used to like the Maybelline Great Lash Lots of Lashes. My absolute favorite lashes from the drugstore are the Kiss Trio lashes in the medium length. That is what I'm wearing right now. I will pop a picture of the actual packaging on the screen. These are the best lashes for literally anyone, whether you're a beginner or you're not a beginner. If you want to start off with lashes, these make lash application so easy and effortless. So basically what these lashes are kind of like individuals, but they are 3 individuals clustered together. So they are going to be a little bit easier to work with and not as tedious as straight individual lashes. I just feel like these really allow me to be creative with my lashes in the sense that I could really place them where I want. I could add volume in certain spots, or I could add length in certain spots. I could double them up, and they just really conform to your eye shape nicely. If you guys have tried a strip lash, you know that sometimes the band will pop up on the outer corner, or they're too long for your eye, or they're popping up on the inner corner. Strip lashes just always give me a lot of trouble, no matter how many times I try to wear them and how many times I put them on. I definitely don't think after wearing these individual trio lashes I would ever go back to wearing a strip. Or if you guys are looking for a strip lash, I would go with the classic Ardell Demi Wispies. Those are not going to be too thick of a band. They are very easy to apply because you could bend them and form them to your eye. And the Demi Wispies are shorter on the inner corner and get longer as they go out, just to make it look a little bit like pretty and like flared on the eye. I really like those as well. One of my absolute favorite parts about my makeup routine is spray. I love prep spray. I love setting spray. I think it really can transform a whole makeup routine, make it look like skin, make your skin feel so refreshed. So I have two sprays from the drugstore that I've really been loving. So the first one is the Wet n Wild one, and it is their 3-in-1 primer water in rose. This is really great. I was hesitant at first when I got this, only because in the past Wet n Wild sprays have not worked for me. I didn't really like them. There was just something about them that I never liked, but this is good. I am so excited that they finally got it right. The packaging isn't my favorite, definitely a little bit cheap, but again, it's only $4.99, so I can't expect much. When I wear this underneath my makeup, my skin feels so hydrated and refreshed. I definitely wouldn't say it makes me look overly glowy or oily. It doesn't have any shimmer particles or anything, but it just leaves the most absolute beautiful, luminous and hydrated look to the skin. I really love this, and of course the rose scent is my absolute favorite. If you guys aren't into rose, this does come in cucumber as well as coconut if you want to switch it up. But I'm so happy that Wet n Wild finally got setting spray or prep spray right. You guys could literally use this as anything because this is really great. And another one from the drugstore that I love is the Catrice Long Lasting Prime and Fine Multi-Talent Fixing Spray. This to me is a really great dupe for MAC Fix Plus. It has that just same light and fresh consistency about it. I know you might be thinking like, Jackie, it's just a spray, all sprays are the same, but to me, this reminds me so much of Fix Plus after it sets down on the skin. I really love this for on top of my makeup. I do use this underneath sometimes, but I prefer the Wet n Wild one more for underneath my makeup, and then the Catrice one for on top. There's just something about this that reminds me so much of Fix Plus. I really love it, and it's only $7 or $8 compared to Fix Plus, which is $26 or $27. The Catrice one has the most beautiful fine mist. I think that really reminds me of Fix Plus, and also I definitely would say the scent is a little bit similar. I really just love it. It leaves my skin, again, looking like skin. It melts all of the powders into my skin and makes my skin just look more fresh and lively, just like Fix Plus does. But if you guys do like something a lot more luminous than this, the Catrice one does come in a luminous formula. So if you are more dry, you might like that one a little bit better. Now moving on to just typical face primer, I only have one that I want to recommend to you guys, and that is the Maybelline Master Prime by Face Studio Primer and Base. I chose this one because I feel like it is very versatile among skin types. So whether you're dry or whether you're oily, I feel like this is a very in-between primer. I honestly couldn't think of any other primer to recommend to you guys from the drugstore. This is literally my favorite one, and I feel like, again, it is very versatile for anyone. It is that clear silicone, really smoothing and blurring primer that is going to really fill in pores and smooth out texture and make the foundation look so airbrushed on top of the skin. It is what I'm wearing underneath my foundation right now, and I absolutely love it. I haven't tried any primers from the drugstore that were mattifying or luminous that really stood out to me that I really feel like is worth the money, so I would just go ahead and stick with the Master Prime. But I'm sure my recommendation for foundation will not be any surprise to you guys, but I really love the Maybelline 24-Hour Super Stay. This is probably the best foundation that I've tried, not only at the drugstore, but literally out of all the foundations that I've tried, this one is my absolute favorite. This foundation is going to be for those of you that want very full coverage but don't want to look heavy or cakey, and you don't want it to feel like you're wearing foundation on the skin, but you also don't want it to be super mattifying. I just feel like this foundation is the absolute best of both worlds because you get the full coverage, but it's still skin-like and you still get a very beautiful natural finish. So it's not overly drying, it's not overly heavy, and it's going to cover absolutely everything that you need it to cover. If you guys are wondering, in this one I wear the shade 120 Classic Ivory. It is a little bit dark for me, but I do find that it is just my best match in this foundation line. So that is that, and you can also pick this up from Amazon for a bit cheaper than you can find it in store. Just a little tip right there. And the next foundation that I have here is more of a recent favorite, but I love it, so I had to mention it as well, and it is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. Compared to the Maybelline Super Stay, this is going to be a little bit lighter, meaning feel a little bit lighter on the skin, a little bit bit less coverage, but this is what I'm wearing today, and I feel like I'm still getting beautiful, beautiful coverage with it. I do put on 2 layers of this to get it looking how it looks right now, which I would say is a high medium to almost full coverage, to whereas when I use the Superstay, I only need 1 layer of the foundation. This definitely is going to look a little bit more fresh on the skin like the name says, and this also is going to give you SPF 25. So if you guys are into sunscreen in your products, definitely check this one out. I wouldn't recommend flash photography though, because that SPF is going to bounce back in photos, but other than that, I love this. I wear it in the shade 420 True Beige. Just a heads up though, if your skin is sensitive to very heavily scented foundations, I would patch test this one first. It does have a pretty intense perfume scent. My skin is usually very sensitive to foundations like this, but I did not break out at all. I've been wearing this for about a month straight now, and I haven't had any issues. Other than that, this is so beautiful. Really the only foundation I've been reaching for a lot lately, especially in the winter. I just feel like it's more fresh. Again, just like the name says. Another thing that I really believe the Drugstore does so well are concealers. The first one that I've been really loving that I want to recommend to you guys is the Catrice Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. I've gone through 2 of these. I picked this up almost a year ago at BeautyCon last year, and this is my second one. So it lasts a really long time, and I love this. I love how creamy and emollient and lightweight it is on the skin, and this one is in the shade 005. I am hesitant to mention this again because the shade range isn't the greatest, but I do think a lot of skin types will enjoy this formula a lot. It is almost full coverage. Again, it's really creamy and hydrating under the eye, but if you are oily, you're still going to like this. It's not overly dewy or anything like that. It lasts a really long time, and it is also waterproof, so a really great summertime concealer. But of course, if you are into something kind of like the Tarte Shape Tape, where you want that really pigmented, opaque, last all day, not going anywhere concealer, I would recommend the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer to you guys. This was a recent launch, so I'm not sure if you can get it in all stores yet, but I hope that it's coming soon because this is really great. This is very similar to the Shape Tape. I would say one thing that I noticed is that this is a little bit drying underneath the eye. So if you suffer from dry under eyes, you might want to avoid this, or you might just want to prep with moisturizer first underneath the eye because this is very drying, but this is very full coverage. It covers literally absolutely everything. I love how it wears on the skin, and I have mine in the shade light beige, and this is only $5, which I think is incredible. It does have that classic like Tarte Shape Tape dupe packaging with the big doe foot, which I do like. I do feel like the packaging could be fixed a little bit in the sense that a lot of product comes out on the brush and on the wand. I don't know if you guys can see, that's just like way more product than you need for your under eye. But again, it's only $5. I definitely think the formula is there. I think the formula is really, really great, and I think a lot of you guys will like this. Again, just a little bit more on the dry side. For setting powder, I could only think of one, and that is the Maybelline Loose Setting Powder. I don't want to go on and on about this forever because I've talked about it a bunch on my channel, and it is the only loose finishing powder that I have used in about a year and a half now. I really don't even reach for my Laura Mercier. This one is just so much better. You guys definitely don't need to spend a lot of money on a setting powder. This one is where it's at. You could bake with it, you could set with it. It is so finely milled, you could literally use it in every which way. So I really recommend this powder, and again, like $5 or $6 from the drugstore, or you could shop for it on Amazon as well. One category that the drugstore hasn't wowed me with yet is bronzer. I feel like they are really lacking in the bronzer department, and I don't know, I just haven't really found one that I loved. I do really like though the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This does have a pretty nice formula on it. It's a little bit light for me, so I think that's why I'm not totally obsessed anymore. This is just the original bronzer shade, but I do know that they have released some deeper shades after this one. I just like a lot of bronzer. I like my bronzer to be pretty warm and like a bit darker than my skin. I just think that's what suits my skin tone best. That's just how I like my makeup to look. I think if you guys find a color that will suit your skin tone, you will like this because the formula is really soft and blends out nice. It has that, of course, like famous tropical scent to it. So again, the only one that I could think of was the butter bronzer, but to me, I do just prefer my high-end bronzers. I will definitely be honest about that. For blush, there's no doubt about it that Wet n Wild makes the best blush formula at the drugstore, in my opinion. These are only $3 each, and I have 2 shades. The first one is Rose Champagne, which is a beautiful nude shade. This is like my ideal blush, almost like a no blush kind of blush, a little bit more on the deep deep mauve side. I love that one. And then also a newer one is Keep It Peachy, which you guys know I've been in a peach phase, and this is really great. It adds a beautiful warm flush to the cheek, and these are very pigmented. So if you guys get this and see that it's only $3, do not let that fool you, and be very careful when you dip your brush in here, because these pack a lot of punch and they are very pigmented, and the price point is incredible. So definitely Wet n Wild blushes. But another option that I love are the e.l.f. blush palettes. So here is the dark Wet n Wild blush palette, and here is the light one. I personally prefer the dark one, just because I feel like the colors are more complementary on my skin tone. So again, this is the deep one, and then this is the light one. I don't use these a lot on my personal self. I have before, and I think they are gorgeous. I have these for my makeup artist kit because they are so affordable, and you get a bunch of different shades of blush, which I think is great. If you guys, like I said, are just starting out into makeup, you can get 4 different shades of blush, and they are very pigmented as well. They look beautiful on the cheek. Some of them are matte, some of them are shimmery, so you get a little bit of an array, but you could get both of these palettes for like $6, $8, and you have a bunch of different color blushes to play with. And for highlighter, I'm sure you guys already know what I'm gonna say. The Wet n Wild highlighters are my life. They are my favorite highlighter formula ever. I've tried Fenty highlighters, Makeup Revolution highlighters, Jeffree Star highlighters. These are the best formula of highlighter ever. I feel like I sound so redundant in all of my videos, but you guys, $5, and they come in so many beautiful shades from light to deep. They come in pinky shades, gold shades, colorful shades. No matter what highlight you want, Wet n Wild has it, and it is in the most incredible highlight formula that I've ever tried. I will go ahead and insert close-ups of the ones that I have here. So Golden Flower Crown, of course, is very self-explanatory, is going to be the more golden shade. I would say more ideal for like light to medium to tan skin tones. Blossom Glow is going to be for my fair girls out there. This is a beautiful icy white highlight. And then we also have Precious Petals, which is more on the rose gold side, which I would consider myself a light skin tone, and I can pull this off. It does look a little bit dark at me when I am at my fairest, so I would definitely say if you were like medium to deep, you could use Precious Petals, but they also have a shade called Crown of My Canopy that would look stunning on deeper skin tones. So to me, not only are these the best drugstore highlighters, but just the best highlighters ever in general. In all of the highlighters to exist, these are the best ones. As we are almost done, now we're gonna be talking about lip products. So I have 2 different formulas that I think you guys will absolutely love that are my personal favorites. The first one being the L'Oreal Color Riche Matte Sharpenable Lip Liner. To me, when I see a lip liner that has to be sharpened, I don't think it's ever going to be smooth enough or creamy enough, or I feel like it's going to tug at my lips. These prove me wrong, and these show that you can have a wooden sharpenable lip liner that are creamy as creamy can get. It is just so good. They are very pigmented, and I've gone through 2 or 3 of the shade 112 Mastermind, which is my absolute favorite shade. It's kind of more of like a warm nude, but if you guys want a little bit more of a cool tone nude, 114 Matting Call is really beautiful as well. And then another drugstore lip liner that is even cheaper than the L'Oreal ones. I think those are $8 or $9. These are $2, and it is the Wet n Wild Perfect Pout Gel Lip Liner, and my favorite shade is in 651B, Bear to Comment. And lastly, for lipstick, I want to talk about my favorite ones, of course, from the drugstore. The Wet n Wild one. I know there's so much Wet n Wild in this video, but you could get such good quality for such a low price. These are just their classic Mega Last lipsticks, I believe. I have mine in the shade Bear It All, which is a dupe for Max Velvet Teddy, and this is only $2. And the other lipstick I recommend from the drugstore are the L'Oreal Color Riche lipsticks. These are really great. I like the black and gold ones. I think there are other Color Riche lipsticks in other packagings, but these ones are my favorite. So I have 4 shades here, and some of them are matte and some of them are a sheen. So I have 402 Blake's Red, 802 Masterpiece, and 804 He Thinks He's Macho. And then I also have Jennifer's Nude, which was a collaboration with Jennifer Lopez. These come in so many different beautiful shades, so they're sure to have something you would like, whether you like a matte formula or something a little bit more creamy creamy or glossy. They have all of those as well. So many different shades of red to match your skin tone, etc. I just love this formula of lipstick. Another one that I don't have with me that I wanted to shout out are the Maybelline Creamy Matte lipsticks. Those are really great as well if you guys are looking for just like a standard bullet lipstick. The Creamy Mattes are an amazing formula. And finally, the last thing that I want to talk about in this video are drugstore glosses. So the first one are the NYX Intense Butter Glosses. The original butter glosses are really good as well. I've used butter glosses for years and years, but I just prefer more of a long-lasting pigmented gloss, and these intense glosses are definitely that. They are so thick, but not in a bad way. They are just thick and creamy and pigmented. They are not sticky. They last a very long time on the lips, and they definitely pack a really nice amount of color. So again, they come in a lot of shades. I have mine in the shade Toasted Marshmallow, which is like a deep berry shade, and my favorite is Tres Leches, which is a perfect nude. And the final gloss that I have here is from Maybelline, and it is their Vivid Hot Lacquer, their Color Sensational line. This again is a very shiny pigmented lip gloss. To me, when I wear lip gloss, I just want it to be pigmented. Unless it's a Fenty Gloss Bomb, I don't really love a sheer gloss. These Maybelline lacquers are so interesting to me, and they're so good because they have almost like the formula of a liquid lipstick. Like they definitely almost are just like a true liquefied lipstick, except they are pure glassy shine. So I feel like lacquer is the perfect name. Again, very long lasting, not sticky at all. And of course, again, I have this in just a classic nude shade. It is in 62 Charmer. All right, you guys, so that is going to complete this video. That is my drugstore makeup starter kit recommendations. That's what I think is the best of the best from the drugstore. Of course, if you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below, or if you have any other drugstore makeup recommendations, definitely make sure to let me know. If you guys did enjoy this video and find it helpful, definitely make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also, make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel before you leave. I would love to have you guys here as part of my little YouTube fam. If you don't want to miss out on any of my future videos, click that notification bell down below and you will get notified every single time that I upload a new video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and of course, I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.